was lovely. I think compared to last year was very formal, wearing a suit and looking very sort of grown up. This year he looked more like a 12-year-old lad, and he's grinning and like he's enjoying life.
Great.
This is, one of the great things Catherine does. She always shares a picture of her children on their birthdays, and we can see the progress they're making. And of course, he's the most important one. Obviously, he's the one day will be the crown prince, and so we kind of watch him carefully and watch what the way he's developed, because one of William's main jobs in life is to do what his father did for him, which is train him to one day be our head of state. Well, the thing is, one's when they're 12, apparently they're not supposed to travel with their parents on airplanes. Although I'm told that's up for review, that particular problem. But so that's the main problem. But of course, 12 is he's getting ready to start senior school. So one of the things that Catherine and William will be deciding is where does he go to Eton, where William went, or Marlborough, where Catherine went. I think obviously the fact they live in Windsor and Windsor Castle's very handy. I mean, Eton sounds better bet. Well, we'll see, but that's the moment. Well, one thing George has got that William didn't have, he goes to football with his father, goes to Aston Villa, and of course, when you see them both screaming from the top of their voice, when Villa score a goal, I understand that because I did that with my children. But obviously, Prince Charles didn't like football much. His sport was polo, and of course, William is quite a good polo player, but he also loves football, and I love him for that. And the fact he takes his son, which I took my son, and then my sons, it's lovely to see that. And of course, he was at Wimbledon with his mother. But the most important thing I've seen in the last year is that on VE Day at Buckingham Palace, he went with William to meet the veterans, shook hands with them at their tea party. Now, you think that's a bit young to do that, but of course those veterans are in their 100, some are 100, some 99, and William probably explained to him that these men fought the Germans for us. They fought, defended our country, and reclaimed Europe. I mean, these are great people, and William was obviously determined that George to get to see these people, even while he was young, and remember, the sacrifice that so many people made for us to live in a free country. So that would be a good thing for him to do. And but his most important thing is that he's very private, George, now. There's no paparazzi chasing him. There's no one outside his school. There's no one at the sports ground when he's playing sports. And that's because William was determined not to let it happen to his children what happened to him. And, in quite many ways, I agree with him. I think he's got to get through this next year at school and see where he goes after that. And once he goes to, obviously he'll board when he goes to either Marlborough or Eton, and we won't see much of him. We'll probably see him obviously at Christmas on the balcony occasionally. But no, this young lad's got to get a good education. I mean, after all, one day he's going to be our king, and we need to have a very bright king. And like we have a very bright king now, he studied hard at school, and so he's got to get an education, and slowly he will be introduced to this way of life. I mean, already I think he appreciates that he is someone special. He is someone special, but they're trying to protect him from all the pressures that brings at the moment, and let him enjoy his childhood and his school days, which I think is the correct thing. But that picture, super picture, just tremendous. He's got great head of hair. I hope he keeps his hair, unlike his father and grandfather, who sort of theirs disappeared quite quickly.